My next little trick here, hold on. I'm moving is, I don't know if you can see this, I might just lift this up here, is storing your witchy items in an unlikely box. Sorry, I can't show you the whole thing here. I don't have a lot of space. But in here is a couple of witchy items. I'll turn it sideways here. I got my chalice in here and anathema. Now you could store these in other boxes if maybe you don't have the problem of people rooting around in your stuff. I chose a game board box or board game whatever box because my family does not play board games. It's always me that plays games like with friends and stuff like that. So, I'll obviously be careful with what you choose to put your stuff in, but, it is an option if you do have some witchy aesthetic type things that you want to conceal from whomever. You could also put books in there if you want to conceal your books. That's up to you. Otherwise, you can just put them in whatever box or drawer and that'll be okay. Another thing that you can do is to practice when you practice witchcraft, just use plain household items to do your witchcraft with. I mean, yeah, I have a chalice, but you can just take one of your kitchen cups and reserve it for magical purposes. A knife or a spoon for magical purposes, if you don't have anathema. I didn't have anathema all the time. The anathema that I have now, I believe I had that for less than 2 years, and I've been practicing witchcraft for almost 10 years. So, yeah, you don't need to have everything all at once, and I had to use substitute items for a very long time. And that's okay, and that'll also help keep things discreet. Especially if you're a young person and maybe you're living at home or you're living with roommates or a dorm room, you probably don't have a whole lot of money to spend on these items, and you probably shouldn't. There's so many better things that you can do with your money than, buying a chalice or an anathema or all those items. They're really not necessary, but I understand that we want those items and it's fine to get them, but just know that it isn't always necessary. It's okay that you don't have all these things right at once. Another tip that I have is using a dresser or a nightstand or some kind of small table as your altar. Obviously, anyone, discreet or not, would use these items. I had a coffee table in my room that I got at a garage sale. I had lived on my own previously before moving back in with my parents to go to community college. So, of course, I used what I had, but sometimes, like in basements, people have like a ledge that's like along the wall. That would be fine to use as an altar if that's your only option, or the top of a dresser. You can, put things on it and then take them off as you need to. So just use what you have. You don't have to go out and buy any special fancy thing that is going to just be your altar. You don't have to keep it on display all the time. But I do recommend that you cleanse it with salt in between each ritual. Another thing that became essential for me when practicing witchcraft was an online community. I will list a few of these in the description that I really like. However, you do have to be careful when you are on these websites for obvious reasons. There's going to be people that are that don't understand how witchcraft works. You're going to be meeting people that are, I don't know, obsessed with, a love spell, and they want you to cast spells for them, or, they could just be, fluffies or fluffs, whatever you want to call them. Website I use, they often refer to people who aren't very serious, the ones that want to, have be turned into a werewolf or a dragon. They might be referred to as fluffies. So be careful for those, obviously. Use your better judgment. Don't give money out to people. Don't give out your real name. Whatever. You have to do things at your own risk. If you choose to, add somebody to Facebook or connect outside. So, yeah, online resources and communities are great. There's also online rituals that I used to do. One in particular, and I still do these because where I'm at right now, I don't always get to go to the community ritual where I live. So you can do online for the Sabbats. Beltane is coming up currently. And it's around $15 if you get early bird tickets, $20 if you're late. And then I think you can buy them afterwards too if you missed the date. But Starhawk, a spiritual leader, or I don't really know exactly what you want to call her. She's not a guru or any authority, but she often leads rituals online. I will definitely give you more information about her if you're interested. So yeah, it was great. Again, you'll need access to a credit card to pay, or, PayPal, but ultimately, obviously, you'll need a credit card. So that may impact your ability to participate in a ritual, but I'm sure you can find things on YouTube on how to celebrate a Sabbat. Something that's already been recorded. And last but not least, my 10th tip is the best way to be discreet about your practices. I really hate to say it, but don't tell anyone. I know that we get close to people from time to time, and we might have a moment of weakness and we want to tell somebody, hey, I do this. Really, you want to reconsider who you tell and what you tell to that person. Being in a small town, people talk, and I always wanted to, be who I am, but I didn't want to have the consequences of, the social consequences of coming out of the broom closet. So that's why online communities become so important, whether it's Facebook or anything, YouTube. There's so many ways you can connect with people who understand you, who won't judge you for your practices. They are out there. I know it's hard, but I know you can do it. You can get through this. I got through 4 years of being at home. I did a year of upgrading and 3 years of community college because I did a part-time program. So it's okay. You'll finally, hopefully, you will be in a place where you don't have to hide things as much, or you'll have people that you can share what you do and how you do things with. Yeah. So I hope that I can continue kitchen table talks. I think some other episodes I might like to try is, budgeting, doing witchcraft on a budget, maybe some basics. I'm not really sure what else I want to do with this, but I really enjoy it. Maybe do some story times. So anyways, thank you for joining me, and we shall talk again soon.